How is it going, everyone? This is Faraz Bhatti from Electronic Junkies, and I'll be doing a tutorial on Raspberry Pi. And this time we'll be dealing with the headless setup of Raspberry Pi. The headless setup here means that you don't need a monitor or a keyboard to set up your Raspberry Pi. You simply need a laptop and a working network connection to get things going. So you'll be needing these softwares to get going, and we'll start with the Windows 32 disk manager. At this time you should insert your SD card that you are going to use for the Raspberry Pi into your computer, and select the Raspbian image file that you should have downloaded, and click the right button. Make sure you choose the right device, you don't write into your own hard drive or USB drive. This should take a while, and this should copy the Raspbian into your SD card, and dividing the SD card into two partitions called boot and root. You should only be able to see boot on your default Windows configuration. Now when the write is successful, you should have the boot partition as I told earlier. And now we need to enable SSH to access the Raspberry Pi through a network. To enable SSH, you just create a file called SSH and save it into the boot partition. Plug your Raspberry Pi in, and plug the Ethernet cable to your router and power the Raspberry Pi up with an Android cable. Wait for a while and then try to discover Raspberry Pi on your network. For me, it worked on 192.168.10.10. If it doesn't, we have a solution. At the start of the tutorial, I told you to install Fing network tools for your phone. You're connected to your Wi-Fi, and your Wi-Fi and the Ethernet switch are the same. You should be able to see the Raspberry Pi advertise its IP. As it's the same for me, I'll try to access it. On second thought, firstly we'll try to access the Raspberry Pi using the Raspberry Pi .local as written in the firmware, as written in the operating system description, but this doesn't work. We'll fix this problem shortly, and for now we'll just use the IP we have, and we have access into the Raspberry Pi. You enter the default username and password, and you should be good to go. Use the top command to view the processes, and now we'll try to make sure that SSH is always enabled by getting into Raspberry config and enabling the SSH from here. Yes, I do want that, and this should be it. These are other options you can discover after you're done with the tutorial. Now we'll look at the network. We see the 192.10.10 IP working, and we see that the VLAN 0 is available, but it is not connected at all because 0 packet transfers, 0 everything. We do IW config, and we see that the VLAN 0 is not associated. I have a Raspberry Pi 3, so the wireless network is built in. You could use Raspberry Pi 1 and 2 with dongles, and this should be the same. Now to enable a Wi-Fi network, you just have to go into this file and enter the credentials for your network. This file is responsible for working out networks, so this should already be available. Here, Nano is the text editor built into the Raspberry Pi. And now we go into the other file called network interfaces and configure VLAN 0 as DHCP. So it should be able to connect to a local network wirelessly. We turn down the VLAN interface and enable it again, and the DHCP. So now we do the IW config thing again, and we see that it's connected to a Wi-Fi network. For me, Baba is Wi-Fi network. And now to fix the Raspberry Pi local problem, we'll install a software called Samba. Sounds like something from an Indian movie, but or the dance, is it? Yeah, Samba is a dance form. Okay, so we'll let this install, and we're done. I skipped ahead. Yeah, this should take a while. Now I'll try to access the Raspberry Pi through my local computer, ping it. It's the basic way to do it. Raspberry Pi local, and it works. Great. So we've solved all of our problems, and we don't need the wire now. So I'll power off the Raspberry Pi and unplug the Ethernet cable. That should turn it off. Yeah, so the Raspberry Pi is connected to my laptop. Only the power cable, doesn't matter if you power it by an adapter or something. The previous session should close down, and you should start a new session now and connect to the Raspberry Pi wirelessly. Now, since we are confident that we have enabled the Raspberry Pi local, yeah, that works flawlessly. Raspberry Pi local is an MDNS, and it resolves the IP behind the name, and you don't have to care about the IP anymore. So this was a basic tutorial for the Raspberry Pi to set it up headlessly without any accessories, and work your way through it. You can see the VLAN network is now transmitted packets, and the Ethernet network is not. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, comment if you like a tech related tutorial, and I'll get to that.